Ladies and gentlemen, right now in the crypto market, we are gearing up for another phase of massive gains all across the board, for as far as I know. And so what we're currently doing is orienting ourselves for some of the more massive launches that are set to happen, and of course for good opportunities during the bear, but in this case just the bear phase. Anyway, today we're talking about a very interesting project called BlockDAG that are having themselves a record-breaking pre-sale with $54.7 million raised so far. Anyway, having said that, what is BlockDAG all about, you might ask? I've said it before, but many different YouTubers have made some content about it because they want to be seen as like a new Bitcoin, a new Kaspa. So one of the more massive projects, not a small one ready to be in the background. Like I said, it involves some elements of Bitcoin, some elements of Kaspa, and it's supposed to be the most advanced layer 1 blockchain because they've completely revamped the proof of work algorithm with, as far as we know, almost unbeatable security and obviously high decentralization. And I know I'm just scrolling through the miners here, but some notable features are they're quick and efficient, they have low transaction fees, they're compatible with the EVM, so with Ethereum Virtual Machine. Their architecture promotes intrinsic scalability, and if we scroll through here, you can actually see they've also got themselves a card coming up. Side note, I've also seen now that they're also allowing or going to be allowing this mining on the phone. And now, beside all of this mining, which are more of the capabilities and the potential for return on their own, I think many more people are interested in, the either ROI potential with it, or to talk a little bit more about what exactly it is that they're doing. Because what is this pre-sale all about? So like it said here at the homepage, they've got themselves a pretty massive pre-sale going on right now, which right now is at batch 19 and it's split up into 45 different phases. So a little while back, the price was 0.0015, I believe. And right now, as you can see, it's 0.014. Afterwards, it'll go to 0.015. It just keeps increasing. And that's very often the idea about these larger sales, to drive interest over a prolonged period of time, just like with some of the more popular node sales, as we've covered with Aether. And there have been a couple of other massive projects that raised tons of money for their nodes, or even for the projects itself. And because they keep interest over a prolonged period of time and the prices keep increasing, people who are there early can make pretty significant gains, depending obviously on how well they keep on doing with the promotion over time and what the market conditions look like when they officially decide to launch. Now, for this specific token, it is said that they're going to be launching at 0.05, so theoretically it would still be an instant like 3x or so from this price. And again, I can't tell you what the price is going to do afterwards, but that's the idea when getting into this. And that's obviously why the batch system, or with the batch system, is so important to be quite early. Then again, there's also drawbacks, which is, hey, let's say you've only seen it now at batch 19, you might feel annoyed that you couldn't get a price 10 times lower. But yeah, that's how it works. Anyway, even though I can't speculate on what the price is going to be trading at in the future, because at the end of the day, nobody really knows, there have been a lot of articles that they've posted about it, with some explaining how much the miner could actually be earning, and some more about what could take the price higher. One thing you should keep in mind is if the pre-sale is very large, often the number that it does on launch day is not insane. I'm talking about not 1,000x or so day one usually, because there's obviously already tens of millions or potentially soon hundreds of millions of dollars in the system. But then again, there was also another pretty massive launch a while back, I think it was 𝗕𝗏, which had a really massive pre-sale. And I think the return on day one was also like a 20x. I don't quite remember, but especially for the people that did buy in early into that ICO and that pre-sale, I think the returns were pretty wild. But I guess the speculatory pieces come more along the lines of what will it look like over a bull market, and is it better than just keeping dollars somewhere? That's always how I kind of see it. And is it better than just keeping some Bitcoin, for example? Well, it's a diversification, right? It's something else that could potentially do quite good. One additional thing I'll state is that they right now are running a $2 million giveaway. So even if you don't want to purchase a single cent of anything, it still might be nice to just enter this, because obviously if 50 people win something, there's a lot of entries, but I'm not sure how many entries you can do per person, and still, 50 people is quite a good chance. And maybe they even change that number to making more people win. I personally always think whenever they're doing these large sums, that they should do like 1,000 winners or so. So the probability of somebody actually getting something is pretty large. Then again, even with my own giveaways, yeah, perhaps because they make it so that you have to do at least $100. So my earlier theory doesn't completely work. They also want to make sure that the people that do win get a really massive reward. Anyway, you can just check it out for yourself if this is something you're interested in. Anyway, now talking about that mining, there's a calculator over on their website that basically explains how much you could potentially make per miner in terms of coins. And so if you take a look at, for example, the earliest prices, you can see what you could be earning per day with those miners. Or if you take a look at what the launch price is going to be at, this is what each miner would be making you. Obviously, as the price on the market changes, the earnings will also change, and perhaps its difficulty. I'm not so sure how that part is calculated in here, but anyway, over time that might also obviously get less. Then again, you're hoping, that's the idea with mining, that the coin price eventually increases, so that even though more participants come along and potentially the amount of coins go down lower, that you do still make the same, if not more, because the price per coin goes higher. And that's kind of what they're stating right here, and why you have a $10 button to see what you could earn if the price ever goes to what some of these articles are speculating on in the crazy sums of like $10. Anyway, to get back to it though, they are a pretty special project. I'm not so sure how you coordinate an effort so well to raise $50-ish million in like a month. And again, for some speculating that 50 million is a lot, it's really kind of not if you compare it to bigger projects in a similar sort of situation like Kaspa. This is a really community-led project, but it's just to give some idea about how big cryptos of this sort can still become. This one is $4.5 billion. And anyway, if this is something that you're interested in and you've understood all the risks, you can check it out with the link down below, because obviously if it's something you're interested in, you want to be as early as possible so it's not at a higher batch and not a higher price. Because like I said, if this number eventually goes up to 150 million or whatever, it'll be very annoying to buy at those levels in comparison to buying right now, especially with the idea in mind that the eventual batch is going to be at 0.05. At that point, it's better to buy as early as possible. But again, make sure you check out the pros and cons or weigh them off for yourself, because these things are still speculatory in nature and risky, but if all goes well, it could be a pretty interesting opportunity, and that is why I've left a link down below. And anyway, like I said, nothing is financial advice, but I do want to share that if their plans come to fruition, it could be one of the bigger launches, because they've been able to raise so much freaking money. But yeah, a couple links down below. Make sure you check it out, and that's about it.